So here we are, getting to the bottom of why this governor ain't working. Well, it's pretty bloody obvious why it ain't working. It's buggered. So parts of this have fallen off by the looks of things. It's all loose and the fixings have fallen out, and that has wedged itself hard up against the timing chain. So the plunger, that little bit there, was just forced out and it was behind here, so there was no way it was going to work. It was pulled out of there. So there's some little little blocks that are supposed to be on the back of here to stop it going all the way, and they're missing. So they're like a little wear block. Anyway, they're buggered, so it's all buggered. But luckily, there's a brand new one on there, and a brand new plunger and a brand new timing chain, because also this timing chain is, you know, a little bit wanked, isn't it? So we'll change that. We'll just switch over the stuff from this other engine on there, and then this will be good to go again. I didn't know whether this front end was going to drop down like that, but it does. It's the first time I've done that, and it's bleeding handy, because otherwise I'd have pulled it all the way off, get it out of the way, done the front, and then put it back on again. But just dropping the 6 bolts out, and it's dropped down, giving me access to this. Now I can chuck the new bit on and yeah, get it back together again, and then we'll have a throttle. Hey, mean as. Oh, so now I've got it off, you can see what's happened with this. All the bits have fallen off, look. These little wear bits have come off, and yeah, you see the wear on the back of there. So pretty buggered. Say the chain was buggered anyway, and there were no locking tabs on it. So that's the old one. And the new one, it's off of the other tractor. It's got the little wear bits intact. All the weights look good, and they've not been back and hit the chain. There's a bit of clearance there, so we're going to lob that one on, making sure we get the timing in the right place and all that. So that's our new timing chain and gear on, and the new bob weights. All I've got to do now is just bend over them lock tabs and then go back together. Well, saying go back together, a little bit more to do yet. I've got to clean that gasket off and make another gasket, because I haven't got one. But other than that, it'll go back together. Now, let's get these tabs bent over. Need something sharper. I'll go and find something sharper. As I said, I'm not going silly with this one, because all the money I had is tied up in the other one. So this has got to be like done on a shoestring. So what I've done is just degrease that a little bit, and it's got a new seal in it. So I should just reuse that. There's nothing wrong with it. But what I have got to do is make another gasket. So I'll get out my trusty bit of gasket paper, a bit of wood, find a clean bit of bench, and I'll rustle up a gasket for that. So it's the same trick as I normally use. Bit of grease, clean bit of gasket paper, press it on, push your dirty little fingers all around the holes, and then peel it off, and there's my outline. Now I've got a little tool for punching the holes out that you've probably seen before if you've seen me before. So I'll just go and find that, and then cut it out with a knife, and we can stick it on. Right, so I've just chucked a bit of this Bond Lock 515 on the gasket face there. Now we can stick this little bugger back on. You've got to make sure that your bob weights are going to close up on the mushroom there, which it has. Let's throw that on there. Like that. Now I shall get the bolts in, and Bob is your uncle, as they say. So that is that. Move that out of the way, pop it back down on the floor, and we can get back to where we were. There you go. That's the timing chain done. The bob weights obviously changed with the one off the other engine. New front oil seal, because that was new. Everything back on again, and now we've got the governor that moves. Look at that. So the next thing to do is pop the rest of this on, water pump, etc. Fan belt, rocker cover gasket. Then we can get some water in it, put the radiator on and get some water in it, and actually run it for a little while and see what happens. If I was shorter, this camera would be right in the right place, but I ain't. So there's a nice shiny new water pump gasket. So I should fling that on here. Like that. Put them bolts through. And now that can go back on. Maybe bolt go. Little bugger down there. So sling him in his hole. Right, I'll find a 9/16 socket and just quickly whiz them little buggers up. I'll finish them off by hand, don't you know, if I can find me ratchet. Anyway, it's coming together, isn't it? Very, very good indeed. Who has moved my ratchet? There it is. Stop looking. So that's a nice new water pump as well. So that's good. Anyway, I'll carry on putting things on. I will. So we've got a nice new thermostat in here as well. So I had that kicking around for another tractor. New gasket. And the thermostat has now got to steal off another tractor because the one off of this was broken and the one off the forklift was straight up in the air. And it hadn't got the little retainer for the radiator on there. So there we go. I should bolt that little fella home, put the fan all back on and the pulley on, put the fan belt on, connect up the throttle, chuck some water in it. So the fan, turns out that fan's different because it's off the forklift and it would have worked a different way. So it would have worked pushing the air out from the engine out the back, not sucking it in because the radiator's at the back of the forklift. So if you look at that, the blades are pitched the wrong way. So I can either pull these blades off of here and put them on again, like rivet them on, or try and get another fan. But yeah, that one's going to be no good as it is. So that is totally different to, well, it's exactly the same as the other ones, just the blades are put on differently. So if that was round the other way, and like that, it'll be fine. So that's why it looked like it's on round the wrong way, because it's off of a forklift, not off of a tractor. So I've got to source another fan. I've just found one on the other tractor, so I should go and steal it and then chuck it on. So I've got the fan off the other tractor, and you can see what I mean. So you see better from that way, like that. So the blade's pitched the wrong way on that one. I might have a go at changing it over, because there's nothing wrong with it other than that. Just means buying some rivets or just twisting it, probably heat it and twist it and it'll be okay. Anyway, I should use this one for now. But you know what, I think it's got enough bits on it to try and start it, see what we get. It's all connected on. I don't even know if the alternator's any good on this, it might be bugger, so I might have to put the other one on it, but just squeeze a little bit of petrol into the carb. Little bit of throttle, maybe a bit of choke. Ooh. Away she goes. Better put some split pins in before I lose some linkage, but it runs. Right, so that's now full of coolant, all the coolant system's complete. Now don't look on the floor, that little puddle there, that was some idiot, i.e. me, who started filling the radiator up and forgot the little plate that I'd cleaned up and had sitting on the back ready to go on, and I hadn't put it on yet. So I thought, where the bleeding hell's that water coming from? I thought, oh no, it's got a core plug gone. And yeah, sure enough, some twat hadn't put that back. So now that's on, and I've just topped it up. And at the moment there's no leaks, but I'll run it and yeah, just see if we get any leaks. But other than that, it's coming along nice. Alternator's probably gonna have to come off, and I'll have to repair that because it doesn't seem to be charging. Well, the charge light doesn't go off, but that could be numerous things. But other than that, it's on. It could run. If I had a fuel tank set up, we could run it. I could even put a fuel tank on the bugger because everything's on. Fill it up, eh? Why not? In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. But yeah, pretty much nearly there with this bugger. Bit more farting around with the throttle and setting up the governor. Someone's welded up the adjustment for the governor, so it's a set length. I can't adjust it, so we're screwed there. But other than that, yeah, she's good. She is good, and it goes. And as if by magic, a fuel tank appeared, didn't it? So I put that on. It's all bolted on properly, and I made up a little, a nice little fuel line there, copper one. Then it turns to a bit of rubber around there into that carb. I'm not sure about that carb yet. I might even stick a normal one on it because I don't know how to adjust these ones properly. I can't find anything on the interwebs. Whereas the Zenith, I do. Anyway, it's got a new fuel bowl as well over there. See? But hopefully now I can run it for a little bit longer. But yeah, and try and set this carb up. So I'll see how we go with that. So I'm just going to whip this other old carb off here. Which is a pain in the arse. That means I've got to remake my fuel line, but that's all good. Now this was missing a mixture screw, so I took one out of another carb, which sort of, well, nearly fit, but not quite, and I don't think it was exactly the same. That's probably what the issue is. The mixture's all up the spout, so I'll just get a bog standard carb, whack that in there, and hopefully she'll be fine. And it was very tight. Just let that go on the floor, on the absorbent pad. Marvellous. Right, let's flick this bugger off. Another thing about this carb is they don't fit very well on here. There's no room to get one of the nuts on, which is a bit stupid, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know. Now I can't even get a bloody spanner on it, can I? Let's try a different spaniel. Need to go and get a 1/2 inch really, because it's 13's a little bit loose on there. You can't even get a spanner in the hole, to be fair. It's bollocks, isn't it? So what we can do, we'll pull it off and I'll come back. Now then, I've just fitted the Zenith carb on here. And this is actually the one, I think this is actually off of this engine originally, way back, because it's painted yellow and the forklift engine was yellow. And I got it and I cleaned it and whatever, put it through the old blaster there. So that is the actual carb that was on it. Now what I did find was one of the jets was totally blocked. So I've cleaned all that out because it's probably the problem with it in the first place before they changed the carb. Anyway, so that's now back on there. It's got petrol in it, petrol's on. Let's see if the buggy thing will start now without choke, because the other one would only the old carb would only start with choke. So keep bleeding fingers crossed. Nearly. Hey, there we go. Now I've only done a rough setting on the carburetor, 2 turns out on the fast running screw, the fuel mixture, the fuel one, the bottom one, and 1 1/4 on the air mixture, but that don't seem to be too bad. I do need to tighten up the fan belt because when you rev it, gets a bit squeaky, doesn't it? So I'll tighten that up a little bit, but belt's just bedding in on there, wearing off the paint and stuff I suppose, but yeah, look at that. From dead to alive, all I've got to do now is wire the lights up, throw the bonnet on it, give it a bit of a clean up, and then check the brakes obviously. But other than that, be a good little tractor.